A compelling geopolitical analysis hinges on a powerful hook, often an open loop, that presents a shocking number or a visual anchor to create an immediate knowledge gap. Consider, for example, Charles Menard's 1869 graph. It visually depicts Napoleon's Grande Armée of over 600,000 men invading Russia, only to be reduced to a retreating force of fewer than 100,000 survivors. This catastrophic failure, mirrored by Hitler's Wehrmacht, was the result of what one historian called walking into exactly the same trap. This immediately poses the central question: why is Russia seemingly impossible to conquer? The common answer, General Winter, is a misconception. The truth, which forms the first act of the narrative, is that both Napoleon and Hitler were logistically defeated before the first snows fell. The real, less cinematic killer is logistics. Napoleon's strategy of rapid movement, living off the land, was highly effective in the dense road networks and rich farmlands of Central Europe. In Russia, however, it was a disaster. He was confronted with a poor road network and a sparse agricultural base. This vulnerability was lethally exploited by Russia's scorched earth policy. As the Russian army retreated, they burned everything: crops, villages, and even their holy city of Massa, leaving nothing but ash for the invaders. Over 130 years later, Hitler's mechanized blitzkrieg was designed to overcome this, but it also failed. The Wehrmacht was severely under-mechanized and reliant on a handful of roads that quickly dissolved, turning the war into a draining battle against sheer distance and mud. This complex set of challenges is best understood through a mnemonic device: Russia's three generals. The first and most powerful is general depth. Russia's vastness allows it to employ a doctrine of trading space for time. As an invader pushes deeper, their supply lines are stretched to the breaking point, all while being relentlessly harassed by ragtag partisans. The second is general mud, known as Rasputitsa. Twice a year, during the spring thaw and autumn rains, the unpaved roads transform into a sea of impassable mud. For a mechanized army, this is a death sentence, a tactical reality that remains true in the 21st century. Only after an army is overstretched, starving, and immobilized does the third general, General Winter, arrive. This is not merely cold, it is a systemic weapon. In 1941, German tank lubricants froze solid, and engines refused to start. The Red Army, by contrast, had learned brutal lessons from its 1939-40 war with Finland, and was fully equipped for winter warfare. This historical triptych explains why Russia is hard to conquer, but it doesn't explain why today it is impossible. This requires a geopolitical pivot to the modern era. The definitive answer is Russia's nuclear arsenal. As of 2025, Russia possesses the largest nuclear stockpile in the world, with an estimated 5,459 total warheads. Together, Russia and the United States control roughly 87 to 90% of all nuclear weapons on Earth. This arsenal is governed by a clear and escalatory doctrine. Russia's official policy, updated in 2020 and 2024, explicitly reserves the right to use nuclear weapons in response to conventional attacks that threaten the very existence of the state, or pose threats to sovereignty. A full-scale war of conquest is the very definition of an existential threat. Any conventional invasion, therefore, would be crossing a nuclear red line. The question is no longer, can your army reach Moscow? But, can your nation survive mutually assured destruction? The answer is unequivocally no. This leads to the final narrative beat: a reversal hook. Having established that Russia is an impenetrable fortress from external attack, the analysis pivots to a more modern, sophisticated question. Given Russia's 21st century internal vulnerabilities, including a severe demographic plight and brain drain, economic stagnation, and growing internal authentic fractures, can this fortress hold itself together from the inside? This final, open-ended question launches the geopolitical debate into the present, inviting the audience to engage with a complex, unresolved problem.